I am Aglaya the Gold Weaver, dressmaster of Akima, and one of the Chrysos heirs of Amphorius. The trust placed in me is how I came to lead the Chrysos heirs in our mission today.
Ever since Aglaya introduced herself to Trailblazer that way, I began to wonder, who placed this trust in her? How did she become the leader of the Chrysos heirs? Hi, my name is Rain, and this is Lore with Tuesday, a series where I talk about the lore of Honkai Star Rail in 5 minutes or less. Welcome. By the time Trailblazer arrived in Amphorius, the Flamechase journey as they knew it had been going on for 1,000 years. 6 out of the 12 core flames had been returned, yet only 2 out of the 6 demigods who inherited the Titan's divinity were left in the city. Aglaya the Gold Weaver, the demigod of romance, personally welcomed Trailblazer and Danheng and introduced herself as the leader of the Chrysos heirs, the prophesied heroes of the world. She was respected by her fellow heirs and those who believed in the prophecy of deliverance, feared and despised by the elders of Akima and foes alike. Her words cold, her actions calculated, her humanity stretched thin over the course of centuries. But it has not always been the case, and surely, to understand someone better, we must look to their beginning and see how their yesterday shapes their today. A millennia prior, Aglaya was simply a noble girl from the grove who strove for beauty, who would nag at her fellow heirs should they turn up in garments unbefitting of their rank and stature.
These rags on you are not worthy of the title of Deliverer. I must prepare some proper attire for you.
1,000 years younger, Aglaya's voice was rich with smiles, her tone full of playfulness, yet to be stretched thin by divinity that she was bound to bear. In that era, Serdra the Imperator was the leader of the Chrysos heirs, the one who quelled the century-long Chrysos War and made the Flamechase journey into law. Aglaya was kind and resilient, the Imperator observed, yet her princess attitude would make her too soft-hearted, and it couldn't be helped that Hyslens and Trivios spoiled her a lot. Armed with Trivios' prophecy, protected by Hyslens' sword, supported by Terravox's unwavering stride, it marked the beginning of the first Flamechase journey. Yet this era would not last forever. The Flamechase journey is a journey of constant loss, where even life itself holds little value. Aglaya learned this the hard way. See you tomorrow! Yet another fragment of Trivios bid her farewell. While Trivios saw herself being split into 1,000 fragments as an advantage, an opportunity to stretch her service for the Flamechase journey, Aglaya admitted to her that it was more sorrowful to constantly bid farewell to many than one. Make sure you do your best. Hyslens, who had taught her the way of sword, who gave her constant headache for her little to no care for personal modesty, eventually left as well, with nothing but her faint melodies echoing from the depth of the sea. I'll leave this place in your hands, Aglaya, the Imperator said before her final campaign in the name of the Flamechase.
My departure will create a long staircase for you. You will understand what I mean when news of my death reaches your ears.
Little did Aglaya know, the Imperator has secretly planned for all of this. Not just for her death to be a stepping stone for the Flamechasers to reach greater heights, but for Aglaya, the noble lady from the grove, to step up and take over her role as the leader of the Chrysos heirs. Serdra and Hyslens had mused on this topic in secret. Who do you think can take up the heavy burden of the Flamechase journey once we're gone? Serdra asked Hyslens. Once, she said, not if, knowing all too well that she was yet another piece that would not get to see the end of the game. Then in unison, their gaze fell upon the young Gold Weaver. In utmost confidence, Hyslens said, that little golden trout will one day become the most magnificent fish in this pond. And be the most magnificent fish, Aglaya did. Be it the original last cycle of the Scepter's extrapolation, the first eternal recurrence, or the 33,550,337th ER, this had always been how Aglaya became the leader of the Flamechase journey. A seed built upon constant loss and unwavering trust of her fellow Chrysos heirs. With all those farewells behind her, it was no wonder that Aglaya would not hesitate to do just about anything to protect Akima and the Flamechase journey.
For the Holy City, I am willing to bear all the traits that others despise and use every heartless yet effective trick in the book.
Aglaia couldn't care less what the people would think of her. She had seen how Saridra did not waver in her leadership. In the seat the Imperator left behind, she could do the same. And she followed in Saridra's footsteps, making sure her death would be beneficial for the Chrysos heirs she left behind. While Saridra's death had opened up the opportunity for the Flamegeist journey to continue, Aglaia's death gave the Chrysos heirs an opportunity to complete the journey. While she was aware that her time was almost up and that someone else must step up to fill in her role, she couldn't just die. Instead, she let Kainis kill her, making everyone in Alchema turn against the Council of Elders, especially Kainis and her cleaners, while also gaining the much-needed support for the Chrysos heirs campaign against Aquila.
The flame chase journey won't end with my departure,
Aglaia said once, and she believed it wholeheartedly, for this was the lesson that Saridra, Hycillens, Trebius, and even Terravox had taught her, the lesson that shaped her to be the reliable leader of the Chrysos heirs, the golden threads that protected them even in death. If you want a deeper explanation about Aglaia's gambit against Kainis, check out my recap on the 3.3 quest here. Oh, and if you want me to cover any specific lore, be it a character, a faction, or something else, leave your suggestions in the comment section. And I will see you next Tuesday.